Hey, um, I don't remember what I talked to you about last, so sorry, but I'm gonna pick up, last week. Well, it wasn't last week yet. It's like today's Saturday, so it's almost last week. Well, but I guess most of it was last week. Um, I got out of the hospital on Tuesday, and I'm shaking a little less. Got out of the hospital on Tuesday, and I'm gonna tell you what I was in the hospital for, which is kind of complicated. I was shaking, and so I went to my oncologist to see what he thought about the situation, because I didn't like the shaking and I felt sluggish and I had gained a lot of water weight. Most of his employees looked at me and are like, "You're not doing well, are you?" And I'm like, "No." And he took a look at me and he's like, you need to go to the ER, because that's the fastest way to admit you to the hospital. And I did not want to go to the hospital again, but I did as I was told, and it's a good thing too. So I was back in the hospital, and they're like, your potassium's high and all of this stuff, and so we're gonna give you all these medicines to start, I guess, lowering my potassium. I'm not really sure. They gave me all these medicines, and all of a sudden I am ravenously hungry. I'm ravenously hungry and super, super shaky. And so, thank goodness I said something about it, because my blood sugar was 41. And they're like, oops, okay, we'll give you, I don't know what they gave me to up my blood sugar. I don't remember a lot of this stuff. But, yeah. Because they had given me insulin to help, like, flush the water weight from me. And so, yeah. And then later that night, I was finally admitted, but I was admitted to the ICU. I've been in the ICU before, I just don't remember it very well, but this time I was fully awake and aware, and it was a very bizarre experience. Because my potassium was very high, I had a lot of water weight that I needed to get rid of, like, fluid around my chest and things like that. It was pretty dangerous. And so we had to start somewhere with, like, getting rid of all that. And so they had me on diuretics and stuff. I chose to have a catheter rather than use a bedpan, because in the ICU you don't have a bathroom. But I was on diuretics, so I really had, the choices were minimal. And having a catheter in is not a pleasant experience. Like, honestly, I had to ask for a painkiller afterwards, which I don't think most people do, but for me it was just very, very ouchy, and I couldn't get past it. And so having a catheter in was not, it sounds weird, but it was like the best thing for this experience, because if I hadn't, then I would have been peeing like every 3 minutes all over the place. And yeah, I just didn't want to do that. And so I spent, I think, 2 days in the ICU. Maybe it was 3. And my dad, bless his heart, slept on the chairs in there because I was too scared to have him leave. And he's like, okay, well, I won't leave you then. And so he slept on the hard wooden chairs that they had, because they don't have chairs in there. Sorry, there's something on my screen. They don't have chairs in there for you to sleep on, because they really don't plan on your family staying. They have an ICU waiting room, which has like more comfortable chairs that you can sleep in, but really they kind of, I guess, want you to let the ICU do its thing. But I just couldn't be left alone because I have a huge fear of hospitals, and I can't. And so my father was an absolute angel and stayed with me in the ICU. Even though it was painful and you got no sleep. But eventually, I think after 2 days, like I said, I got to move to a normal room. It was on the surgical oncological ward, I think. I don't know. It was on some cancer ward. And I immediately missed my ICU bed because they had the fanciest beds. And then the bed I was moved to was basically a gurney. It was old as hell and like trashy, but I mean, it was something to sleep on, so what can I say? And at that point, I was still on diuretics and all that stuff, but my potassium was coming down. My lithium was high while I was in the hospital, but we stopped my lithium and my lithium levels came down too. Hold on. My mom got me this balloon while I was in the hospital. And I can't even see if you can see that. Yeah. Got me this balloon. Have a speedy recovery, and then it's a turtle. Loved that. And basically, I just spent several days in there, with my catheter drying out. Tons of fluid. I think in the end, when I came home, it was something like 27 pounds of fluid at least, and I'm still on diuretics. So I'm still losing water weight, which is grand because the first time I left the hospital this month, I had gained so much water weight and fluid weight that it was impossible for me to do some tasks, and it really frustrated me. But now I'm back to myself, which, you know, may not be like 100 pounds lighter, but it's lighter enough. Lighter enough, that doesn't even make sense. But yeah, it's enough. And so basically now I think I have to go to a nephrologist at some point. I'm supposed to follow up with all my doctors, and it's just kind of, but yeah. So I was in the hospital, and really, it was kind of a severe situation because your potassium being really high and you having fluid around your heart and lungs can be really dangerous. So that's why it's important to listen to your body and then listen to your doctors even when you don't want to. Yeah. But I don't know if you've been able to hear Jazzy snoring. He is a snorer. Well, he's so cute. He's a cutie. He's like, get that camera out of my face. Yeah. If you have any questions about this hospital stay or anything else, feel free to ask me. And I guess for now I'm done. So I love you all, and I hope the best for every one of you. Bye.